Good evening. My name is Tori Smith, and this is the DARPA CIA child trafficking report for Friday, the 11th of March. And this report is for the Indianapolis child trafficking location where 10 children were brought. They brought in 218 children yesterday total from 3 different locations, from Mexico, from South America, and then from Europe. And so there was a Brazilian boy, a couple of Mexican girls, and a couple of Syrian boys and girls brought to Indianapolis. Last night, 10 children were gang raped by 54 males, 1 DARPA employee, and 53 Indiana males. Gang raped these children 163 times. And the people of this group of 54 males were Indiana Governor Mike Pence, U.S. Senator Dan Coates, former Senator Richard Lugar, Indiana Attorney General Greg Zoeller, 14 males from the Indiana State Police, including the man from the #1 position, and 17 males from the Indianapolis Municipal Police Department. There were 11 state senators there, 2 Indiana House representatives, and 3 National Guardsmen, and 2 other police officers. One is the sheriff of Tipton County, and the other is a chief of police. He's from southern Indiana. I couldn't get the name of the town he was from. The state senators who were there, Eric Bassler, he raped a 6 and 7-year-old Syrian girls. A man named Michael Crider, state senator, he raped a 5-year-old boy, the same boy that Mike Pence murdered, and raped a 6-year-old Syrian girl. Indiana Senator Mike Delph, he raped a 7-year-old girl and another 7-year-old girl, 7-year-old Mexican girl and a 7-year-old Syrian girl. Ron Grooms, he raped a 6-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl. Indiana Senator Randy Head, he raped a 5-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl. Jim Merritt, he raped 2 6-year-old girls and a 6-year-old boy. Ryan Mishler, he raped 2 7-year-old girls. Jeff Raatz, he raped a 7-year-old boy and girl. Brent Waltz, he raped 2 Mexican girls, one aged 5 and one aged 7. Indiana State Senator Jim Banks raped a 7-year-old Mexican girl. Roderick Bray, he raped 2 6-year-olds, 1 boy and 1 girl. And a child rapist and child murderer named Brian Bosma, who is I forget what they call it, the leader of the House of Representatives for the state or whatever. He was there. He raped a 7-year-old girl. He also has a history of murder. And this other man named David Niezgodski, he raped a 6-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl. The 3 National Guardsmen who were present raped 7 children total. The sheriff from Tipton County raped a 6-year-old girl. And the chief of police raped a 7-year-old girl. Now, the 10 children were then, and all of these are basically the same type of murders. Usually, I don't know what percentage, over 99% of the time, when a man is raping the child, they choke the child to death. And they like the moment of death to be at the same moment that they ejaculate into the body. And that's very important to them because they get some kind of a high off of that. The other way is they have a 17-inch Illuminati dagger, which is normally the way that women kill the children. Every once in a while, a man does it for whatever reason. Mike Pence murdered his 34th child. He raped and murdered the 5-year-old Brazilian boy. I didn't do the counts for all the rapes. I just did on the 10 men who murdered children, I just did on the list the child that they raped and murdered. The 6 men from the Indiana State Police, 6 men from the Indiana State Police each murdered a child. 3 Syrian girls, 1 age 6 and 2 age 7 years old, and they murdered 2 Mexican girls, 1 5 and 1 7, and they also murdered a 6-year-old Syrian boy. An Indiana CEO, he murdered a 7-year-old Syrian boy. and the 2 CIA agents who have a very long history of raping and murdering children with Mike Pence. They each murdered a 6-year-old boy and girl. So they murdered 2 CIA agents, murdered 2 children. They brought up a boy from Tennessee last Sunday, and these 2 CIA agents, the head of the Indiana State Police and Mike Pence, all raped this little boy at the CIA agent's house, and then after the child was murdered, they put him in a tank in the basement and dissolved him. And then they flushed him down into the drain. And I just realized that on the list of 54, of the 54 men, I forgot to include the 3. The CEO and the 2 CIA agents. I'm sorry, I'm really stressed out. It was a really rough day yesterday. And a new MILAB was opened at the Delph military base, out west. And, I just met this woman who now we're becoming friends, and she comes from a military family, and she was taken to this base. And, I've been working with this woman. We spoke for several hours now, and she was telling me about the horrible, horrible things that happened to her at this military base. All the times that she's been raped or whatever. I mean, these people are a nightmare. Well, virtually all of them are either Nazi soldiers or Nazi war criminals, and DARPA are all the Nazi scientists. They're just in different bodies now. That's basically what's going on here. And they built this massive $17 trillion underground labyrinth. An entire world exists under the surface, and that's what their game plan is, to go underneath the surface and to live in high luxury, and then basically kill everybody off on the surface. And then while they're living downstairs, so to speak, then they want to reshape the country according to whatever their needs are or whatever. I don't know. But, I wanted to do a separate report because I'm from Indiana, and I find this child trafficking situation absolutely horrid. And every week, more children are gang raped and murdered, not just all across the country, but here in this state of Indiana. And thank you for your prayers for these children. God bless your heart.